Alright, I took one for the team and watched Killdozer so you don't have to. Yes, that's right, a movie about a killer bulldozer, made in 1974, and no, this wasn't some fever dream I had after eating too much pizza. This is a real thing that happened. It's a movie so absurd, so mind-bogglingly slow, that it almost feels like a practical joke. But nope, it's all too real. So grab a drink, sit back, and let me guide you through this bulldozer-shaped train wreck. Picture this. A group of construction workers on a remote island are doing what construction workers do. Pushing dirt around, standing by a bulldozer, wearing hard hats and smoking cigarettes. Things are going fine until they stumble across a glowing, blue meteorite buried in the ground. Because, obviously, in 1970s TV movie logic, ancient glowing rocks equal instant catastrophe. The meteorite somehow transfers its mysterious energy into the nearest thing it can find, which just so happens to be a bulldozer. Yes, friends, this meteorite decided it was going to possess a giant yellow machine, and thus, the Killdozer is born. From that point on, the bulldozer goes rogue, and instead of building things, it starts doing what its name implies, killing. By killing, I mostly mean slowly advancing on panicking construction workers who make the strange choice to not, move out of the way. It's essentially an 80-minute game of hide and seek with a machine that moves at the pace of a sloth on Ambient. The main characters of Killdozer are led by Clint Walker, who plays the rugged, no-nonsense foreman Lloyd Kelly. Walker is the type of character who takes every line of dialogue as seriously as if he were auditioning for Hamlet. And honestly, you can tell he's really trying here, which only makes the situation more laughable. It's as if the actors are all in a different, much more important movie about something that isn't a bulldozer with bloodlust. Kelly's crew is made up of your standard issue construction workers. The tough guy, the young newbie, the older guy, and the guy you know is going to die first, which, spoiler, he does. They all have this bewildered, is this really happening? Look on their faces, which I imagine is the same look I had while watching this thing. Now, let's talk about our star, the bulldozer. I'm still trying to figure out how someone thought. You know what's terrifying? Heavy construction equipment. I mean, sure, in real life, I wouldn't want to get flattened by a bulldozer, but watching one try to be menacing on screen? That's a whole other story. This thing is the slowest, least frightening killer I've ever seen. Imagine watching a horror movie where the slasher villain takes coffee breaks between each murder, and you've got the general pace of Killdozer. There's literally a scene where a character is running away from the bulldozer, and he somehow gets caught. How, you ask? I have no idea. It's like he forgot how legs work. The bulldozer doesn't sneak up on you. It doesn't strike quickly. It just slowly rolls toward its victim with all the urgency of a lawnmower at half speed. At one point, the bulldozer pushes a man into a ditch. That's right, pushes him. You'd think a grown man could outmaneuver a machine that takes 5 minutes to turn around. But apparently, that's asking too much. The bulldozer's real power? Making people lose all sense of basic survival instinct. I know this was a TV movie made in 1974, so I didn't go in expecting Star Wars level effects. But come on, this is rough. The bulldozer glows ominously at times, thanks to some really cheesy blue lighting, and the rest of the movie's special effects consist of, well, close-ups of the dozer's blade. There's a lot of dust being kicked up, some dramatic music, and, occasionally, a worker's horrified face as he realizes that, yep, the dozer's still coming. Slowly. Steadily, for the next 20 minutes. The set design is about as creative as you'd expect from a movie called Killdozer. You get piles of dirt, construction equipment, and more piles of dirt. The most exciting visual moment is when the bulldozer knocks over some equipment, which I'm pretty sure was done with one guy off camera giving it a good push. So why did I watch this? Let me be clear. Killdozer is not a good movie. It's not even a so bad it's good movie. It's just plain bad. But, and this is important, it's also hilarious in its sheer absurdity. I mean, how many movies can you name where the antagonist is a possessed piece of construction equipment? It's so wildly off the wall that you can't help but sit there, slack-jawed, wondering how it ever got made. It's like watching an episode of Scooby-Doo where the gang decides to give up and just let the monster catch them. If you're looking for a movie that will keep you on the edge of your seat, this isn't it. If you're looking for a movie that will make you giggle at how absurdly straight-faced everyone is while trying to avoid a bulldozer, well, you're in luck. Killdozer is the kind of film where you could walk out of the room for 10 minutes, come back, and still be up to speed with the plot, mainly because the bulldozer won't have moved much in that time. Look, I'm not saying Killdozer is the worst movie I've ever seen, but it's definitely in the running for weirdest. Watching a bulldozer become the slowest, most lumbering villain in cinematic history is something I never thought I'd witness, but here we are. I sat through all 74 minutes of this dirt-pushing disaster, and now you don't have to. Save yourself the time, and instead, just imagine a bulldozer rolling after people who make all the wrong decisions, and you've pretty much got the entire movie. Better yet, watch the trailer and call it a day. You'll get the gist. Trust me, I did the hard work for you. You're welcome.